So the Lord Mayor of London, Lord Mount Evans, retrieves the pearl sword, ready to accompany the procession back to the Great West Door at the end of this national service of thanksgiving for the 90th birthday of Her Majesty the Queen. Congregation enjoying the playing of Simon Johnson, the organist, the Allegro Maestoso from Edward Elgar's Sonata in G. The Prime Minister, who took part in the service a little earlier with his biblical reading, and Jeremy Corbyn there just on the left next to the Speaker John Bercow. Chris Grayling, the Leader of the House of Commons, just behind the Prime Minister. The procession is on its way under the Great Dome of St. Paul's, heading towards the Great West Door, led by the Pearl Sword, one of 6 ancient swords, the possession of the City of London Corporation. It's a very stately pace. Little pause. Prince of Wales recognising some faces in the congregation. The gentlemen at arms, resplendent in their white plumed helmets. Created by Henry VIII in 1509 as his personal bodyguard. And as we were mentioning earlier, the senior bodyguard, despite the fact that the yeomen of the guard were created before them. The yeomen of the guard also in evidence today, created by Henry VII at the Battle of Bosworth in 1485. And they are always a magnificent sight on these state occasions. We saw them recently at the state opening of Parliament in that procession in state to the House of Lords, and here they are again today, leading the way at the end of this service. Robert Hardman is still with me, the author, royal commentator and Daily Mail journalist, and I'm just wondering, Robert, for you, what was the highlight of the service? Was it the sermon? Was it maybe the playing of that young pianist?
He was brilliant, wasn't he? I think also so many of the little personal touches that just peppered throughout this very carefully prepared service. I mean, for example, that lovely address by Sir David Attenborough reading out the words of Michael Bond, just ending there, quoting the words of that famous poem by Louise Haskins, you know, a very clever reference back. That poem about the man at the gate of the year was used by George VI in his most famous broadcast of the war, the 1939 Christmas broadcast, when Britain was facing heaven knows what, and it became a hugely popular poem after that. Just a little touch, just there, just reminding us of that factor, that moment in the Queen's life. The readings we heard from people representing different strands of her life, Claire Balding, of course, reflecting on the racing, the Queen's love of racing, but also, you know, a member of her household as well, Oscar Matthews, a Deputy Sergeant Footman from Buckingham Palace, reading there as well, and Cadet Lance Corporal Tamara Kakmak, a cadet, an army cadet from London, reading and also rather touchingly helping Hilda Price, another 90-year-old, on and off the lectern there. So all these little strands, you could pick out any moment in that service and it would have meaning.
Lots of smiles and words of thanks, and just a quick exchange of views with the Archbishop. The Queen seems to be pleased with the way things have gone. Members of the chapter at St. Paul's Cathedral and the yeomen of the guard I mentioned just now, there they are standing behind the canons of St. Paul's. St. Paul's Cathedral Guild of Bell Ringers, hard at work already, signalling that the monarch is here, but that the service is over. And this is the time for the crowds to start waving those flags and to start cheering as they are.
As we mentioned earlier, the Queen in primrose yellow, by her dresser Angela Kelly. It's been described by the palace as a primrose yellow A-line coat with a matching dress and primrose yellow cotton piqué. And from here, of course, the Queen has more duties to attend to. All the governors general from all her realms, all 15 realms overseas, are here at the service, and the Queen is now going to host a lunch for them back at Buckingham Palace, while all the other members of the royal family go on to a reception here in the city. The Duke and Duchess of Cambridgeshire, Prince Harry, they'll be going to meet many of the other guests at this service, but the Queen has to attend to state duties back at the palace.
And at this moment, Robert, I think it's good, given that cars are all there lined up, just a word about the events of this weekend, because this service of Thanksgiving clearly setting the tone. But tomorrow we have the Queen's birthday parade for the 90th birthday.
It's always a fantastic event, a much loved event every year, but obviously being a 90th, being this historic birthday, there'll be just that extra buzz about tomorrow's birthday parade, as you say, Hugh. And I suppose we've got every sort of atmosphere, every tone throughout this weekend. We've got the solemnity today, but also these very personal touches tomorrow, all the pomp and ceremony and pageantry which people love, which we so associate with these occasions. And then there's going to be this informality, this fun street party on Sunday in the Mall, where thousands of people will gather, as they will be gathering up and down the country for street parties. So it's very much a weekend of many parts and one focus.
As you mentioned, Robert, Duke of Cambridge, of course, as Colonel of the Irish Guards, will be riding in that procession for that parade tomorrow along the Mall and up to Horse Guards. Prince Harry will be there too, riding in the carriage with the Duchess of Cambridge. And who knows whether we'll see a few young friends on the balcony a little later. We'll have to wait and see.
Well, there was a huge cheer when Prince George made his debut on the balcony last year, so we can but hope.
Lots of waving at the crowds. By the way, when we arrived this morning at about 7 a.m, there were lots of people already in place. They'd bagged their positions and were jealously guarding the little square yard of space that they had around. But lots of people turned up probably just after 8:30, 9 o'clock, and they've been waiting patiently during the service for the Queen and other members of the royal family to appear.
There are people who fly in every year just for the Queen's birthday parade. There's someone who comes every year from Australia just for this moment, and so this year they've got this extra treat of this event and Sunday as well. It's very much a highlight of the calendar for those who follow the royal family closely.
Robert, I look forward to having your company tomorrow for the Queen's birthday parade, but thanks for being with us this morning.
Thanks very much, Hugh. I've much enjoyed it.
Well, isn't it a wonderful sight? St Paul's Cathedral on a lovely sunny day at this high point on Ludgate Hill in the City of London, and we're looking forward to a weekend tomorrow. Lots of music, lots of marching, lots of precision, lots of pageantry, and then of course a rather more fun time on Sunday with a rather more informal party going on in the Mall. But the national service of Thanksgiving is complete. Back to Kirsty.
And from St Paul's, it's